Hello, friends. Time for another episode of Bad Pets Hall of Shame. This time you're going to have to bear with me as I read some stories about some naughty bears. The first one's called Java Junkie. A bear woke up and smelled the coffee and probably wished he hadn't. He shoved his head into a large empty coffee can and then couldn't get it off. The bear had been foraging near an old dump about 15 miles from Tok, Alaska in 2016 when he found a rectangular metal coffee can. The scent of the coffee was so intoxicating that he jammed his face into the can. Bad move. His head became stuck. Unable to get his bearings, the coffee-loving beast blindly wandered onto the Alaska highway. That's when the brouhaha began. Surprised motorists had pause for concern when they saw a bear with a coffee can over his snout. Cars and trucks braked and pulled onto the shoulder, where drivers stepped out and took pictures of the Java Junkie, who had a lot of problems brewing. The driver of a semi-trailer stopped in the middle of his lane and watched the bear smack into the truck's wheels. Randy Rollo, an aviation mechanic who lived in the area, told InsideEdition.com, "The bear walked right past me. He couldn't see. He kept bumping into the truck. I thought about trying to pull the can from his head, but I gained some common sense and decided against it." Rollo told the Alaska Dispatch News, "Some guy stopped and he tried to take the coffee can off, and the bear swatted at him, and it barely missed him. He walked off and said, 'Let Fish and Game take care of this.'" Several motorists, including Rollo, had called the Alaska State Troopers and local officials with the Alaska Department of Fish and Game. While everyone waited for the wildlife officials to show up, the bear settled underneath the semi and had to grin and bear it. About 2 hours later, Fish and Game agents arrived. After shooting the Bruin with a tranquilizer dart that put him to sleep, they used tin snips to cut the empty can off the bear, who they figured was about 3 years old. Biologist Jeff Wells told the newspaper that the bear was healthy and in good shape. The animal received an ear tag as well as antibiotics and treatment for the dart wound. The agents put the dozing bear in a pickup and drove him about 40 yards into the woods, where he slept until the tranquilizer's effects wore off. Hopefully, the animal didn't bear a grudge. The next one is about Cinnamon, a black bear. A bear who was rummaging in a dumpster suddenly found himself tossed into a garbage truck, which took him for an unintended 75-mile ride. Nicknamed Cinnamon because of his somewhat rust-colored fur, the 1-year-old 80-pound yearling was well known to residents of Grant Grove Village near Hume Lake, California. He often ambled around the little town looking for food and had been down in the dumps for months. In 2015, Cinnamon dived into a dumpster and was feasting on scraps without paying any attention to the garbage truck that rolled up. Still focused on the goodies he was finding in the trash, the bear tumbled into the garbage truck when the driver, unaware of Cinnamon's presence, emptied the dumpster. Now inside the truck's compactor, the bear couldn't get out. Cinnamon then took the ride of his life. "About halfway down the mountains, my truck is going from side to side, and I'm thinking it's the road, not knowing I have a bear in my compactor," said the driver. Cinnamon rode in the back of the garbage truck for about 75 miles to a dump outside Fresno. The driver said, "When I dumped the container, I saw all the employees running. Not knowing why, I pulled forward about 10 feet, and then I saw Cinnamon running across the parking lot. I was like, this isn't real, a bear in Fresno?" Far from his home, the yearling had lost his bearings and didn't know where to go, or what to do. He just kept running through a South Fresno neighborhood. Police and California Department of Fish and Wildlife employees eventually tracked down the bear and tranquilized him. They examined him, and after finding he was in excellent health, transported him back to the forest near Hume Lake. "He's one of the local bears," one of the residents told the TV station. "I'm sure everyone in the community is happy that Cinnamon is back." The next one is about a pie-eating bear. Oh me, oh pie. A bear broke into a Colorado bakery and gorged on 24 pies, and then took 2 more to go. The day before the break-in, the bear was photographed by a neighbor of the Colorado Cherry Company, a bakery in Lyons, Colorado, right outside Rocky Mountain National Park. People were always seeing bears in the area, so the owners didn't give it a second thought. During the middle of the night in 2015, the bear, who had a nose for sweets, smelled those yummy, freshly baked fruit pies that were on display inside the shop. He gained access by breaking a window, but he felt no pain. Get it? He stuffed himself with about 2 dozen pies, bags of cocoa, and a bag of sugar, the owner of the bakery said. For good measure, the intruder took 2 pies to go. He exited through the same window he had entered and then ate the 2 pies outside before waddling off. I'm looking for servers, so maybe if he wants to come back, I'll give him a job, because that's talent to get 2 pies into the backyard, said the owner. Cherry and apple were his favorite. He passed over the strawberry rhubarb. He wasn't feeling like a tart pie, I guess. Although the bakery had surveillance cameras, none could bear witness to the pie identity of the Bruin. The cameras were facing a freezer which contained several more pies, and not the room where the intruder enjoyed his bear fare. Other than the mess he created in his store and the broken window, there was no damage. The owner told the newspaper she was concerned the bear might want to become a repeat customer because he obviously loved their pies. We have a feeling he knows it's here, so he's going to come back, she said. She added this wasn't the first time the owners dealt with a pie-eating bear. Earlier, a Bruin broke into their other bakery in Loveland, Colorado, and gobbled up several pies. That intruder did much more damage, breaking a window, the main doors, and the freezer. The invasion spurred the owners to install electrified fences to keep bears out of their garbage. There was an upside to the Bruins' break-in. The crime boosted the bakery's business because it put our pies and product out there so the public could see how delicious they were. So this is the honorable mention. Apparently inspired by the Colorado pie thief, a mama bear and her 2 cubs broke into a residence in South Lake Tahoe, California in 2016 and stole 2 pies that had been baked for a 4th of July celebration. Brian Halligan told Sacramento TV station KOVR that when he and his family drove up to their home, they spotted the fleeing burglars, or maybe we should say bearclers. His youngest daughter was the first to notice them. The littlest one says, "It's a bear, it's a bear," Halligan told the station. We thought she was kidding, and we turned around and looked, and the mama bear was just coming out in the middle of the road, and the 2 cubs were following her. The family entered the kitchen and found the bears had trashed it. The refrigerator door was wide open, and food was strewn all over the floor. The bears had come into the house through an unlocked window, wrecking the screen and blinds. It had been easy as pie. They had made their way directly into the kitchen where they opened the refrigerator and then feasted on the Halligan's berry pies and most of the food prepared for the holiday. The Bruins ate and ran. As for being caught, they couldn't bear to think about it. Hope you enjoyed this installment of Bad Pets Hall of Shame. I'll be back again another day.